Hi everyone, my name is Morgan Richardson. I'm a Fulbright English teaching assistant currently in Kazan, Russia. I arrived in September of 2015 and I'll be leaving in the spring of 2016, so about an academic year, 2 semesters, and it's been a wonderful time. I'm from Texas, born and raised, so proud Texan, obviously. And I'm currently in Russia because I studied Russian while I was an undergraduate student. So my bachelor's is in Russian and political science. And I'm very excited to be here, and I'm excited to begin discussing our theme.
Hello everyone, my name is Nadezhda Vanyukhina, or you can call me Nadia. I am a psychologist and a PhD in psychology and an associate professor here in Kazan Innovative University, Russia. 20 years ago, I was an exchange student in the USA. Now I'm a psychologist. So I'm still interested in psychology, education, family, relations, culture, and all the differences that exist in those spheres.
Hello everyone again. So today our theme is going to be on stereotypes between Russia and America and the psychological underpinnings and the meanings behind these stereotypes. Since Nadia and I have both been abroad, and since we have lived in our countries of origin for a very long time, we feel quite confident that we can explain these stereotypes and then also talk about the reasons why these stereotypes came about. We see this as a good opportunity to understand our cultures better, to get past just the facade.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Splinter. My name is Jerry Klein. I'm with Social Services.
Oh, hello, Mr. Klein. To what do I owe this pleasure?
We've received multiple reports that you're living here with 4 teenage boys. Is that correct?
Ah, the boys. The jewels of my life.
And these jewels, they're not related to you?
Oh, heavens no. I just found them and brought them here to live with me. Alone. In the sewer.
I see.
Hey, what's going on here? I thought we weren't allowed to talk to anybody from the outside.
That's true, Raphael. You are not to go outside or be seen by anyone.
Boys, how do you like living with Mr. Splinter?
It's awesome! He lets us eat all the pizza we want!
As long as you practice your pole work first, right, Donatello?
Shut up! You have to work out too. You make these young boys work out in front of you?
Oh, no. We work out together.
Sometimes we get pretty sweaty, don't we, Master?
Yes, Leonardo. Yes, we do.
Mr. Splinter, I'm sorry, but the city will not allow you to keep custody of these underage boys.
Is that so?
So as we just saw from the video, the children, Ninja Mutant Turtles, yet again foiled a Child Protective Services officer from taking them away.
By the way, this video wasn't surprising for me as a Russian, because here in Russia we have a stereotype that taking children away from families is a very common thing in America. We know that there are specific words for that, like juvenile justice and child protective services, and juvenile justice is coming to Russia now, and we are very much afraid that children will be taken from our families, like it's done in the USA. Is that true? Is that a usual thing?
Well, I wouldn't say it's usual, but it definitely does happen. So, of course, the officer would evaluate the family, the situation, but it is quite possible. So if the child is being beaten, if they're not getting fed, or maybe if the house or apartment does not have proper running water, proper sewage, these are all definitely possibilities for CPS, Child Protective Services, to come in.
That's amazing. Sewage and water. But in many Russian villages, there is no running water in houses. Water is brought from the well, and the house is heated not by gas or something like that, but with wood that you cut in the forest, and then you heat in your house. And certainly you have toilet outside, and banya, where you wash yourself, also outside in a separate building. Then half of our families would lose their children, really.
Well, that is a good example of a cultural difference. So right there we have different economic situation, just different cultural values about homes. So I think if Russia had this kind of CPS system, they would of course not say, oh, because your toilet's inside or outside, you can't have a kid. They would be more reasonable about that. But I would say in the US, it's probably impossible to find a house that does not have running sewage and water, just because there are codes that I think would prevent a house from being built.
I see. Then our fears are quite well based. If those codes of child protective services are taken without adjustment from the USA to Russia, then it would be a disaster. We should be careful about that and see those cultural differences.
I totally agree.
Yeah. But I think that the very important thing that should be watched about is how children are taken care of psychologically.
I agree, absolutely. Speaking of psychology of children and raising them, in the U.S. we have this new phenomenon of helicopter parents. So we say helicopter because it's like the parents are in a helicopter and they're always hovering, always following the child. So traditionally this has really not been the case. It's really developed in the past 15, maybe 10 to 20 years, where parents are very focused on their kids. In the past, you'd say goodbye to your kid in the morning when they went to school, and then you'd see them in the evening, right before the street lights went out. So that was actually a common thing. So as long as you're home before the street lights are out, that's okay. But now, your parents are always calling you, always wanting to know where you are. So it's of course they're concerned about the psychology, but it's an interesting change.
But just a moment, that's a surprise for me. There is a stereotype about American parenting that you are 18, you leave the house, and you have nothing to do with your previous family, and you are on your own. Isn't that the same?
Good point. So I would say traditionally that's how parenting used to be. So 18 was when you left the house, when you got a job or went to work, or went to university, when you got married. So 30 years ago, 40 years ago, absolutely. But now there's a lot more of helicopter parents who are very focused, very intently watching their children grow up.
So 18, after you are 18, you are an adult.
Yes, that's true. I think that has been true and that is true. 18 is adult.
Well, quite the opposite in Russia. You are child for your parents when you are 20, 30, 40. I'm coming to my 40th birthday, and my grandmother and grandfather, who are in their 80s, call me saying, Nadia, it's cold today, don't forget to wear your hat. Would you like to have some money? Do you need some money? We could give you. And we believe that it is parents' responsibility to arrange and pay for wedding of their children and to pay for the place where they live, or even to buy apartments. We mostly live in houses, but in apartments in cities, to buy apartments for their grown-up children. So we are still children as long as we have parents.
That's wonderful. I wish someone would pay for my new apartment.
Yeah, cultural differences.
Cultural differences.